You good?
All right, here we go, everybody. So welcome to tonight's episode of Stories of Hope. I'm Sony Boychow, joined with my co-moderator, Deborah Bradford. Just a little background on me. It is the kickoff of fall semester. So I'm a college professor. I've been teaching people how to operate MRI scanners for about 23 years, 24 years now, and also have been working in that domain for about 32 years. So yeah, there's a few gray hairs up there. But yeah, I really have a passion for health and wellness, right? So I see it all as a continuum, all as a spectrum. You've got kind of the medical industry and what we're doing out there at the hospitals and whatnot with allopathic physicians on one end, and then what we're up to and healthy living and wellness folks. And somewhere in the middle, I think everything meets up, and that's where we can have optimal health. And I'd love to share that Deborah Bradford's here with us tonight. Deborah Bradford has a background as a parent educator, and she's also a professional organizer. And when we started working together almost 10 years ago now, she said she had a blog called 60 with a 50-year plan, which I absolutely love. And we're also joined by Denzel Hill. And Denzel, you're coming back with us tonight. You were with us a few weeks ago, and that was just so phenomenal. And we wanted to talk with you some more. If you didn't catch that episode, definitely check out the YouTube channel and check our last episode. It was fantastic. And so tonight we're going to dig in a little deeper, and I'm going to start out with the prompt that I was just talking with these guys, and it's who do you help do what? So I'm going to open that up to both of y'all. Denzel, Deborah, which one of you would like to respond first?
I will. Thank you, Sony. Who do I help do what? Well, professionally, help people have their environments be clutter-free. So I make order out of chaos. And I can see how that relates to health as well, and what I do for individuals and couples and families. Because with the fast-paced living that so many of us do have, we take shortcuts, we eat fast food, we maybe eat too fast. And I help people, become aware of how they're living that can be shortchanging them in the area of health and wellness, and how to make simple changes toward better and better health.
I love that. Love that. Yes, you bring order to the chaos, and you can see even in clearing out the clutter that brings about the space. It literally creates the space for health to emerge. And Denzel, how about you? Who do you help do what?
So formally, I'm an architect. Essentially, my job is to build buildings that grow food. That's my niche that I'm getting into. But before I build buildings, it's about building better bodies, right? Come from a student athlete background, and essentially on a grassroots level, my mission is to help people like student athletes and busy professionals alike receive the nourishment that they need, not want, but that they need in order to live that high octane lifestyle. Because no matter if you're building a building or building a body, it takes quality ingredients. It takes, consistency in terms of, hey, like, are we able to get this done on time, without, any types of errors or anything like that. And then beyond that, it's just knowledge that, I like to offer people in education. So that's why we're here having this talk.
Yeah, excellent. Oh, I love that. Not just an architect of buildings, but of bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Definitely had a lot of injuries in college, tore my Achilles to end it, and I got I got what you call wisdom from the pain. And I'm
Right.
glad, I'm happy for it. That's what you call healing.
Yeah, yeah. What do you see on the other side of that? I know you were saying that you really wanted to look at talking about recovery tonight. And not necessarily that you have to be some sort of, you don't have to be some athlete to need to recover, right? Whether you're, somebody who's working out consistently every day, or you're, a weekend warrior or an armchair quarterback, really, we all need to fuel ourselves for recovery. So tell me your thoughts on that.
So I think everybody should understand that it takes energy, it takes resources for your body to operate. No matter if you're sitting still, that body has an autonomous pump. It's called your breath, it's called your blood, it's called all your organ systems and whatnot. And those break down. And we're designed to, intake, things like light, things like food, things like water, and things like good thoughts, in order to, say, live healthy lives. Like, they even have studies on community saying that that has a effect on health. But we're at a point now where we can't ignore how overworked we are and how undernourished we are. And that right there was what really got me at Columbia, doing an architecture program and full-time football program at the same time. Something had to slip in order to make that make sense. And that was my sleep. That was how much I was relaxing and resting. And I thought I could just work. But I kept getting those episodes where I would just crash. And that crash would be like a sickness, or that crash would be like a shoulder tear, or that crash would be like this weird cartilage, and we all have these chronic issues that we call pains. But I feel like with recovery, we can start to, walk it back on, okay, why is this happening and how do I get over this? And I think Deborah can have even another perspective of what recovery means from her end.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I was just thinking about, so here I am in Houston, Texas, triple-digit temperatures every day. And if you are someone
just had your AC go out.
Yeah, but I was thinking more about other people who, like myself, who are working outside of the home, at least part-time, and you're going to and from air-conditioned environments, and then you're in this horrid heat. And then if you're working in an environment, like, let's say you're a high school coach and you're outside with those kids, they have to recover. In fact, I was just listening to an NPR story about classrooms that don't have proper air conditioning, and there are many, many old schools all around the United States that don't have proper air conditioning. And let's say you're on the third floor in a math class and the temperature is up to 93. The kids can't study, they can't concentrate because of the heat, and they need hydration, they need rest.
Wow.
They are going up and down the stairs to get to those classes.
Wow.
Elementary school kids out on the playground, they need to recover when they come in from playing.
Yeah.
They need to slow their breath, to have their blood pressure return to normal. If they have any kind of an existing condition like diabetes, or they're overweight, they need to recover. And teachers are starting to become aware of that and to put things and practices in place to help students recover from the weather that we're having.
Yeah, absolutely. And, at the high school level, I'm still involved with the dance team. My daughter was on the dance team in high school, and I was president of the booster club. And, I had the opportunity to go in and share with them. And I realized that when the band is, it's one thing to think about like Friday Night Lights, right? Like when they're out for the football games in the evenings. But when they're practicing out on concrete, in these temperatures. And it's so important. I've been mentored for a good long while by Dr. David Phillips, and he's an Ironman triathlete. And, he ultimately says he does not fuel his body to perform. He fuels his body to recover. And Denzel, I know you and I were just talking about this, that our bodies are constantly regenerating themselves, right? So the cells that we have right now are going to turn over rapidly. some more rapidly than others, right? But what's going to fuel those cells for that turnover? And Denzel, I see you over there going, oh my gosh, it's just
Y'all
popping.
literally just shook up my whole like past. Like I can remember before I was talking about college, high school, I was running on school food and vending machine food. And I'm like, no wonder I've had the health history I've had. Like every time I present something around what we're talking about, we learn that we don't know it all. And that's my favorite part about it. Like what you just said, that's a whole paradigm shift. I fuel myself to recover. That means I'm always ready to perform as long as I'm recovered. Whoa.
Exactly. 1,000%. Yes. And that's
My mind is legit blown. Legit. Like, wow. I'm gonna make a lot of calls and like, hey, did you ever consider?
Totally. Like I said, yeah, I heard Dr. Phillips say that and I was like, oh, wow, what a perspective shift that is. And that once you fuel that recovery, you fuel yourself to build up to be at your best. And then obviously the performance is going to follow. So yeah, just outstanding. So I want to say my answer to the question from earlier, who do I help do what?
Mm-hmm.
I help people break generational cycles and change their health and wealth trajectory. And, you know, I can say from my personal experience, I am a recovering junk food addict. When I chose to have a child, I was very conscientious about that I would be very dedicated to her having a great body image and her having a great relationship with food. You know, I had those moments at the dinner table where it was like, no, you can't get up until you eat those peas. And, you know, I don't know if today we would be like, oh, that was some kind of sensory processing issue or what, but I was like, chicken nuggets and French fries. That's all I wanted. All right. And as an MRI technologist, I've seen plenty of data on the studies, right, done on bliss points. They zero in on the optimal point because you get a little too salty, you don't want to eat it, right? But if it's not salty enough, again, you don't want to eat it, right? So they look for the bliss point for salt, for sugar, and for fat, and they dial that in, right? And the rest is history, right? So there are some studies out that show sugar is going to activate the same centers as cocaine in your brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like look at the fMRI studies. That is what it activates. And it activates it even more. And if you think about it, this is going to be probably some of the least talked about, but most prevalent issues that we're dealing with. And that is definitely, you know, if we're eating that sugar, Denzel, you mentioned, you know, the eating out of the vending machines, right? What's in those vending machines for the most, you know, I know they're trying to get them a little healthier, but we've got a long way to go there. And so I think that we've all come along a really great solution. Y'all see my Juice Plus Pfizer. So if you're not familiar with Juice Plus, it is fruits and veggies in a capsule, very simply, right? Take 30 different fruits, veggies, juice them, dry them, put those in a capsule. Or if you don't want to swallow capsule, then it's also available in gummies. And backed by peer-reviewed research. Again, I've got that healthcare background. So that was what really spoke to me. Once I learned that's all it was and that it had that research supporting it, I was in like Flynn. There was no turning back. And that really, for me, that was the beginning of the turnaround, which unfortunately was a few years after my daughter was born, but also fortunately was not that far into, you know, so she's got that great nutritional foundation as a result. She is not struggling with some of the things that I have struggled with. I have lived on a blood sugar roller coaster for most of my life, and I cannot tell you how liberating it is to step off of that. And since I've been eating those capsules, I find that I crave fruits and vegetables, and it's unreal. Yesterday I was like, I need, you know, I sat down to have some homemade chicken nuggets that were not breaded or fried, right? I did them in the oven and all of that. You know, but I was like, oh, I need some celery and I need some, you know, bring me some veggies to go along with it.
Yeah.
Instead of fries, right? Celery
Yeah.
sticks instead of fries. That is a win, right? Breaking those generational cycles. So yeah.
Something keeps coming up for me, and it's just revisiting the whole idea of recovery and how things have changed since even I've graduated high school. I graduated high school in 2013, and now they're a lot more serious about what these kids are intaking, because now they see like, oh, deaths are happening early, disease is happening earlier. Like, we can't just not give these kids water. That's not a tough thing. That's like just you need water. So
Right.
I'm glad I can say, like, what we once thought was okay for us, I'm glad that the masses are starting to see, like, wow, maybe we should rethink, what we thought was working, and see what else is out there. And that's what we invite people to do, is just to learn more about how deep this product goes. Like, Sonny, you could kind of speak on just the medical background and literature that I could not believe. I was like, wait, nobody else has to do this? When I first found the literature, I was like, wait, hold up.
This company does it out of their own volition.
Uh-huh.
It's not anybody making them do it. They
Mhm.
simply, and there's even times that folks have come to them and said, we want to research, and they're very particular about what that process is, and whether or not they're willing to partner, because they need to make sure that it's going to be done properly. And once they get everything, they hand off the product, and then they have nothing to do with the research. They have, and the findings are published, whatever they are, good, bad, indifferent, everything is published. So yeah, it's amazing.
And with that published literature, I mentioned earlier about being with families, and this week I had a great opportunity to be with this 3-generation family. There were 5 of them, and in the home, and as young as 15 months, and then the grandmother was also in the home, and the baby was dealing with constipation and is in quite a bit of pain. The father's a doctor.
And you just knew from how that baby was crying.
Yeah, I could tell that the baby needed to be elevated and kind of bounced and patted, and the mom was doing that, and I was sharing with her how I had already provided her some gummies. Her husband and her little son had some gummies a few days earlier. And I said, those gummies that I shared with you, I can dissolve some in some tepid water, and you can spoon it to your baby, and that will help his digestion so he won't get so compacted. I just said from personal experience, I know that this can happen. I didn't say it would. I said it could happen. And after about 4 or 5 little spoonfuls of the dissolved gummy, it was red and green gummies, he had a natural bowel movement. And it's the formulations are amazing. So after that, the dad was pretty impressed, and I just happened, of course, to have the synopsis of the research in my bag, in this small little compact booklet that we have, and I gave it to him. He sat right down and looked over all the studies. He was very impressed. And when everybody in the family is already on board with something as simple as whole fruits and vegetables, because she said, we eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. And I said, well, maybe, I'm sure you do. And it's almost like, and she finished my sentence. She said, we don't get enough, do we? And I said, exactly it. This fills the gap.
Yeah. And just think of the recovery now that's available to that baby, right? Now that things are moving and grooving, because that's all part of it, right? If you don't have good elimination happening, then you're not going to have good recovery happening, for sure.
exactly the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So my story around recovery was, so we have a program called the Shred 10, right? Where for 10 days we shred the bad habits and focus on building in new. And I find, number one, that mindset is really important, to really stay focused on what you're adding, not necessarily what you're shredding or leaving behind. And we'd been doing it for quite some time. And then we did around it. This was back in 2018. And it was like right at the end of January into February. And I love to go and work out at Pure Barre. And so this was actually what got me hooked into Pure Barre. So that was, like I say, 2018. So what is that, 5-6 years ago now? I had tried and tried to build up an exercise routine. And I noticed every time I get started and into one, I'd get sick, like
Wow.
flu or cold or something. And it was a cycle. It was just this vicious cycle. I could not get out of it, because what I realized finally was I was starting to dump out some of those toxins and whatnot out of my fat cells into my bloodstream, and then I get sick. And, you could see, okay, well, if you get sick, then you stop working out because you got to rest and get better and, recover from that. And then I'd start over again. But, it'd take me like 6 months to get back on the wagon, right? So I committed in that round of the Shred 10, thanks to this community. I said, all right, I'm going to do this at least 6 days. And I did. I made it through that. And then they had a promotion like 5 weeks for $99. And so I bought that and I'm like, let me see if I go. And I did. But what was happening was, the moment I'd get out of bed, my feet were on fire. And I like plantar fasciitis, right? Well, that happened to also correlate with the time that our omegas came out. So our broad spectrum vegan omegas, no fish oil, no fishy burps, right? And went to our conference where I got to participate in a session with another of my mentors, Dr. Bill Sears. And he said, go for it. Do some more omegas. He recommended taking them 2 to 3 times a day. And so that's what I started doing. I took them 3 times. I took them breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with my fruit, veggie, and berry blends. And that got me through it. I thought, like, I was thinking this was it. Like, I was going to have these burning feet for the rest of my life. Nope, no more. And so here I am, 5-6 years later, and I go to Pure Barre about 4 to 5 times a week and have been consistently since then. So it's been a huge, huge component to me being able to recover from the intensity of those workouts and then just, get right back in there. I even did a double. This past weekend, I did a session on Saturday. Sunday, I did 2 sessions. Yesterday, I took a rest day because you need that rest day. So I just went for a nice hour-long walk along the bayou out in the 100-degree heat. Actually, it was probably in the 80s because I went in the morning. I'm not crazy. And then I was right back at it today. And I'm telling you, I feel like I feel like I did back when I was dancing in high school. Yeah. Denzel, I see you over there having some more mind-blowing moments. What's going on?
I'm not that far away from my college football career to be like, what if? But now I'm getting into pickleball, and it's like I'm about to tear things up and get people on board with, hey, this works for me, like my play proves it. Because you can't deny that. You can't deny performance. You can't deny I can get up at 4:30 every day. Boom, I'm going after it. I'm on the computer. 9 o'clock rolls up. I'm 4 hours into my work, and I can kind of just, create my own schedule around just how high my energy is nowadays. And it was not like that. it was not like that at Columbia. I was always dragging. But I just thought that was the norm. Like, okay, I'm living the hard life. Rah, rah. Yeah, I do this. But no, it doesn't have to be like that.
Yeah. There's a better way. There's a better way.
Yeah. And 9 years ago, when Sony shared Juice Plus with me in Tower Garden, I was living a good life. I had launched back into a business that I had owned previously, and I was really enjoying it. I was also training teams of parent educators and supervising them. And when I started my blog, 60 with a 50-year plan, it was just something that I was casually interested in. But with Juice Plus and getting off any medications and getting out of my house any supplements and just doing the Juice Plus every day, at 72, I have the energy of a 30-year-old, and I run my companies, my Juice Plus business and my organizing company, with the kind of vitality that I wish I had in my 30s. And I was one of those people who, got up early with a yoga practice, and taught my classes and had my business, and then I would crash. I used up all my reserves, and I wasn't fueling myself for recovery then, but I do now. And so grateful to be this active and energetic and vital. So
more vitality today at 72 than in your 30s. Wow, that is incredible. Yes. Hi, Stephen Sy. Thanks for joining us.
Hi.
See you.
What's up, Stephen?
Delay, but I'd rather
Hi,
participate in as much as I can because Deborah did talk up Denzel. And I said, well, 5 minutes with him is 5 minutes more than nothing.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, Stephen. Where are you coming from?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just moved from Waldorf, down Charles County, PG County area. Just moved around.
St. Mary's College?
Sure did.
That's me.
Okay. I was about to go to Riken.
I don't know if the green door is still there.
I don't know. Yep. College football background, was headed pro towards the Achilles, and I got back to fruits and vegetables so fast, and I've not went back to my bad eating habits. I've even got more serious. Like my architectural practice, I want to build homes that grow food. So it's bigger than just what we do with Juice Plus. We've learned to inject it into our lives, and it creates a whole nother level of purpose for what we do. Would y'all agree?
Oh, 1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Like I say, I'm in the medical field, but at the end of the day, the only one that can make sure that we're taking care of us, in terms of our lifestyle is us, right? We can't outsource that to anybody, right? Nobody else can go exercise for us. Nobody else can control, I guess to some degree what's on our fork, but, at the end of the day, we have so much power to take control of our own health, right? Like we say, taking healthy back.
Yeah. So where I'm coming from, Denzel, is kind of before the Juice Plus. It's really about me, myself, and I.
Mm-hmm.
Because Juice Plus is the tool. And excellent. Right? And the tool is only good as the one who's operating it.
Yes, you're there. I like where you're at.
Yeah. And so the history is on and off, like on the edge, back and forth into healthy eating, healthy operating, and backing up. So what I've noticed is that my stress level drives my diet. And if I can manage stress, then there is no question about what goes in my body. And so I've been groomed in the old school, how to eat, what to eat. And then I personally groomed myself on stress reliever foods, what do we call comfort food, right? So Deborah's done a good job of educating me on Juice Plus. And so to what Sony was saying, there's a small caveat about owning ourselves. So I caretake for my mom. And she has given, my mom is 90. She just turned 90 on Sunday.
Hey,
and, right? And so she's given over her diet to me. So I get to manage that as long as it's within her boundaries.
Right.
It's good until it's not. So I've got Juice Plus products that I've, on and off try to incorporate in my diet and try to incorporate in hers, and she gets bored with it and goes on to something else. But when push comes to shove, she wants what she wants. And 90, she gets what she gets. She gets what she wants. Mm-hmm. All right. And she begged me to bring it in the house today. Okay. Did you bring ice with it? I said, no. And so I said, I have some whipped cream in the refrigerator. I said, okay. Yeah. So I'm here to listen again and be reignited by, positive vibes. That's why I still jumped on. Mm-hmm. So the unfortunate thing that had me be delayed is managing a relapse. My mom we just got over COVID. Mm-hmm. Tested negative twice, just in time for her birthday. So we go out, have a meal on Friday, go out, have a meal on Sunday, friends and family, blah, blah, blah. Boom, relapsed. So we're back ground zero again. So she just tested positive a couple hours ago. And so we got on the horn, communicating to people that we're now positive. And I'm saying I'm positive too, but I just ordered another test kit so that I can confirm that my symptoms are COVID. Okay. And so, and that just puts me right back into the conversation of diet. And you have brethren here, all three of you. It's called my nephew. He's vegan of the core nature. He's, advocacy. Mm-hmm. To the point that he's almost telling us what to eat kind of thing, which is a little challenging. So I told him, I said, you got your success. We did a 180. It started with 2 years ago. We had a meatless Thanksgiving. That was not going to happen unless you were in our lives. And then from there, the diet is slowly migrating over. Mm-hmm. So what I want for Christmas is a Vitamix. Already got the models spent out. The budget is $400. We're going to get that sucker, and it's not waiting for Christmas. It's coming like next week, right? Kind of thing. We got to good job.
Christmas in September.
Yeah. Birthday, we get a Vitamix.
And I know Deborah's got some great shakes for you to make in that Vitamix.
And we've already had some of the Juice Plus products that we used off Deborah. We used them all up. All right. And so, because we have this little small, like bullet type vet, thing. So we wrestle with that anyway. But no, I've got my ginger, pineapple, celery. I've been collecting all of my smoothies and stuff that, I'm going to go to town. So the diet is like it.
Well, my mouth waters, sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll do shred tens together.
Okay.
We'll do
So,
that
and the doctor
monthly.
said, yeah, diet and exercise. And by the way, diet is 80%, exercise is 10. I'm clear. So if I can manage my stress, I'll manage my diet.
Thank you, Stephen. Thanks for jumping in.
Yeah.
And consider the cycles that go on there, right? Because I've actually been looking at that lately, how when stress comes in, one of the first things that goes is our diet, right? But when you don't have that nutrition, then you're, compromising your body, you're compromising your mental state and capacity to deal with the stress. So I've started to look at that and go, oh, okay, I need to double down. And this is where I need to make sure I'm getting that good in. I'm not saying I'm perfect. All right. It's Taco Tuesday. I had my tacos before we got on here. All right. But yeah, having it be more in our frontal cortex versus just that mindless, just whatever's right there for you to grab out of the vending machine.
I can literally say like Juice Plus is my anchor in my day. It's like 10, 15, that energy starts to do, and I take my Juice Plus and it goes right back up. And then like 12, 1, 2, I'll eat like a whole fruit meal. And I'm like, oh my God, like, dang. And this mental clarity that I could not achieve at school. I'm like, I can't get it through. Like, my field is blocked. But now that I figured this out, I want people to know more about how optimal they could be living their lives, because it's a tool. It's exactly a tool in a world where there's so much distractions, from the right things that we could be doing for our health. There's just too much. There's too much to buy that's not good for you. And it's good to buy that every now and then just to like quell your sensations or whatnot. But let's face it, y'all want to be healthy. You don't like being sick. And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the big shifts that's been helpful is I don't use my stove, or we have an air fryer. And that has done miracles for transitioning, like a partial transition, right? There's still
that's it though. You got to pick one thing at a time, right, Steve? It
right.
doesn't need to be a whole huge overhaul. Just take one thing at a time. And I was saying earlier, for me, I realized, oh, okay, let me bring in these omegas more often. And I saw getting nutritionally fit was my access to getting physically fit, because they're two sides of the same coin. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, it's been gradual. A big part of that conversation came from a lot from Deborah, because she walks the talk. She was talking about how much vitality she has. Here's how much vitality she has. She can break 2 major bones in her body within months and bounce back. That's almost a pun. And I was so inspired by the stamina that you had to come back. And then the house flooded, right? And here you are. Like, you forgot about that until I reminded you.
Well, it's like Denzel is saying, for me also, Juice Plus is core. It's a core practice. I have my Juice Plus. I have my complete shake. I have a complete shake protein ball snack. I have a clean meal, a clean snack. That's my day. And again, like Sony, I'm not perfect. I baked a chicken. I baked a chicken today, and probably gonna put some mashed potatoes with that, for us, and some green veggies, because she's still. If I make a salad, she'll eat a salad at 7. She'll want some, whether or not she gets some, other times when I'm not here, but still eat. You can hear her in the background. she'll eat, what I put in front of her, and what I choosing to put in front of her is something that's really going to build her up. So.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, anything else? Shall we land the plane? It's been
Let's land this sucker.
been a nice chat. Like we say, the mindset really matters, and it truly does. Just miracle upon miracles. I have a girlfriend who shifted her mindset around her chemotherapy treatments, and she had a session today. Prior to this, she's had 3 rounds, and it's just been very, very difficult. And today it was smooth and seamless because she just shifted that mindset. She finally found that access. And, again, it's when we're fueling ourselves well that we're able to tap into that. We are, boundless miracles, and, can accomplish amazing feats when we are focused in on giving ourselves that TLC and not outsourcing that inside job. So thank you guys for joining in, and it's been great to be with you tonight. Take care.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah,
Thanks,
pleasure.
Denzel.
Where are you?
I'm in Savannah, Georgia now.
Okay, great. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Feel free to connect on Facebook. Keep the conversation rolling. I really like your perspective.